I love Star Wars. I watched Star Wars as a kid and I really enjoyed it. It's always been a favorite of mine. Some of the more recent Star Wars feature-length films in theaters I haven't been as big of a fan of, but the original Star Wars I thought was so powerful. There's some great themes in there, great characters. Unfortunately, there's these spin-off shows like on Disney Plus, this one called Acolyte, which is using the Star Wars brand to push, you guessed it, the LGBT agenda. We're in the month of June here. I don't know about you, but you probably have seen a rainbow flag or two. The rainbow, which is meant to represent God's promise to never destroy the earth because of his mercy and faithfulness, is now being used to promote sexual disorder, confusion, chaos to people of all ages. Doesn't matter your age, we're going to put a rainbow on your face. We're going to invite you to our pride parade. And people who mistakenly think that my sexual attraction defines me. If I have a sexual attraction to the same sex, that's who I am. I am gay. I must act that way. If I have trouble accepting my body, my sex for what it is, then I must be trans and I'm going to remake my body in the image that might be in my mind instead of maybe addressing why is my mind thinking that. There's so much confusion. I have so much compassion. I know people personally who are affected by this and who may consider themselves LGBT, or people who are wrestling with different unwanted attractions or wrestling with different questions of identity. So we need a lot of compassion here, but we need to be unapologetic in calling this out, to say this agenda, pushing it especially on kids and families, to say that sexual disorder and chaos and confusion is the norm and healthy and should be acted on, even to the point of, with the transgender chaos, literally cutting apart bodies of young people in order to fit this agenda. You know, we had Chloe Cole on the show, as you guys remember last year, who is a detransitioner. There's so many of them now, young people who had gender confusion. And so she had a double mastectomy at age 15 years old in Kaiser Permanente in California. And this young woman who was struggling with her identity, the doctors just gave her testosterone and then cut off her breasts. And now she's, I think, 20 years old campaigning against this. And she's saying, how could they? They used and abused me in a moment of weakness and confusion for their agenda. It's so wrong. So what is Star Wars doing? We're going to just watch a little clip here. And then I want to talk about Bluey. The Bluey one is the biggest hit of all. But let's go to the Star Wars clip first. So here's some actors from the show and us talking about the new Star Wars narrative. Let's call it that.
Arguably the gayest Star Wars, I think, by a considerable margin. This is going to be a talking point.
Is it going to be a talking point?
I'm sure some.
Because nerds are gay.
Well,
Yeah.
Some nerds are very threatened by gay
Well, that's
stuff.
true. But
Yeah.
in my world, nerds are gay.
Okay.
People have told me that it's the gayest Star Wars, and I frankly
You're offended?
into it. No. You're telling me with a straight face that C-3PO is straight.
They're a couple. That's what I think.
I think it's canon that R2-D2 is a lesbian.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ask
let's
Filoni.
stop it there. So why do you gotta ruin everything? R2-D2 is a cute robot. He's a cute robot. He's not a lesbian. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Why is everything gay now? I mean, they're literally laughing. It's all gay, and also all nerds are gay. I mean, what kind of message do we send to kids that if you're a nerd, if you're interested in reading and you're interested in, stereotypically nerdy activities, you're maybe not as interested in sports, and all of a sudden you're gay? No, you're just someone who is, I love nerds, who's intellectual. Intellectual doesn't equal gay. And if you are an intellectual who has same-sex attraction, that also doesn't mean you're gay. It's not an identity that we should be upholding as this is a whole personality. No, your sexual attractions don't define you. And being a nerd or being a cute robot certainly doesn't mean all of a sudden you're gay, you're LGBT. I mean, the whole thing, the whole agenda is so confused. It's quite frankly sad. It's sad. And again, I love Star Wars. So why do you got to destroy it this way, right? It's sort of like the whole Pride Month stuff. It's like shoving this agenda down the throats of so many people when really it's trying to, I think, I think it's a lot of folks trying to make peace with themselves and demanding endless public affirmation for the war in their own hearts. And again, knowing people very close to me who have struggled with some of these things, we should be embracing each other and helping each other, not to feel shame, but to feel loved as they are, but to navigate sexual attractions that are not ordered or identity crises that put people out of sync with who God made them to be, and help those people instead of saying, oh, your attractions define you, go act gay. Or, oh, you are at war with your sex, you feel uncomfortable in your skin. Okay, go get a double mastectomy. That's not loving. It is not loving. Pride is not loving. The pride movement is not loving. And love is to will the good of the other, want what's best for the other person. So, okay, Star Wars, R2-D2, no, R2-D2 is a cute robot that I always have loved that character. Do not destroy that character.